Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to have a good friend, right? However, you don't really ask if you're a good friend. A good friend isn't about being funny, texting back on time, or wanting to hang out every single weekend. It's about making someone's life better because you're in it. So, I'm going to teach you how to be a good friend. As always, you know when I say how to, the video is going to alter your brain chemistry. Let's get straight into it. We're going to use 3 specific concepts: presence, honesty, and investment. Because if you've ever wondered why your friendships dwindle away or things just stop working out, it wasn't random. It's because people, or you, stop doing these 3 things. Presence. See, now you hear this and you think being a good friend just automatically means you have to be there all the time. You have to always be in their face, and that's how you know you're a good friend. But it doesn't, because you have to actually consider, are you there when it actually matters? And this is something that's so overlooked because people fail to realize it's in the little things that matter. For example, your friend tells you something like they have a really big interview coming up the next day, and they made you very aware of this big sort of milestone that's going to happen in their lives. And of course you say good luck, right? And most people leave it at that, and that's fine. If that's where you want to stop, cool. But a good friend, someone who actually values you, takes it a step further. You text them afterward. You say, how did it go? You ask them what happened, how they feel about it. Being a good friend means remembering what matters to the people you call your friends. Because the reality is a person will never remember how often you talk to them. They remember who showed up when it mattered. Because you can be around a person as often as possible, but when things are actually happening in your life and their life, and you or them are not showing or creating some establishment that your presence is there, then in the culmination of your time together, can you really say you're friends? Because if you can't show some substantial amount of closeness, of a good relationship, there is no foundation. Something I need us to reoccur here is that presence is not measured by time. Presence is measured by intention. Honesty. When I was thinking about layers, I think this is one of the most important things that I had to mention, because when you talk about having a good friend, an actual good friend, I want you to notice how we're not using layers here. We're not just saying friend, we're saying a good friend. A good friend doesn't just support you, they correct you. And that might be triggering for some people to hear that word correct, but believe it or not, you have to hold the people in your life to a certain standard. There are certain things you just don't accommodate for. If your friend is making decisions that is hurting them, right? Your job is not to protect their feelings, your job is to protect their future. And I find that in a lot of friendship dynamics, a lot of people apply some level of restraint to open communication because they fear that if they speak up about something, it'll cause a rift. It'll cause a damage to the relationship, the friendship that they have. So most times they stay quiet. They don't even say anything at all. They watch these things unfold and they think, okay, fine, whatever. This is your friend. If something was happening, it is your duty to make sure they don't go deeper in whatever rabbit hole they're in. Okay, so let's use an example. Let's say your friend is going through something, right? Instead of saying nothing or keeping quiet, you bring up the thing, right? You bring up the thing, and all you have to say in that moment when you mention the thing, I'm telling you this because I care about you. I don't think this decision is good for you. And you phrase it as an opinion, right? Because if they value you, they should be able to take what you say serious to some extent, because a good friend should be able to express certain things that are bothering them in the moment, and not just in a personal way. Because if you notice that the expression is not in benefit to you, the expression is out of concern for the other person. And the real truth is they might not like hearing what it is you have to say. That's a fact. A lot of people will always show resistance when they're met with the truth. But if you can express that opinion, that thing you've noticed with the love and respect, that's a real relationship. That's a real friendship. Because real friends, good friends, they don't tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear. So if you see something going wrong in your friend's life, call it out. And if you feel fear that this relationship is under jeopardy because you express something for concern for their well-being, then you need to reevaluate, is this your actual friend? Investment. If you've ever been friends with the person, or you thought you were friends with the person and it just never lasted, it just kind of died away. And this happens a lot with people. There's this assumption that good friendships will maintain themselves, right? That because we're such good friends, everything will work out the way it should. But it doesn't, right? Because relationships grow where attention goes. Because if there's no investment in that relationship you're building with a person, there is no way it's going to grow. It's like a plant. If you don't water it, right? It's getting all the sunlight in the world, all the air in the world, but you're not watering it, it's going to die. It will literally wither and die. Like, take for example, you go long periods of time without hearing from people that matter to you. Okay, you don't need to wait for something to reach out to your friend. I'm not telling you you have to speak to this person constantly to maintain your friendship, but I am telling you, if they are your friend, some amount of concern should be shown to these people, right? Because if you actually care, periodically reach out on your friends, check up on them. It could be something as simple as watching a TikTok and you're, oh my God, this reminded me of you, and I just sent it to you. It's all it takes. It's again, remember the start of this video. It's in the little things. People care about the little things. You can check in on them for absolutely no reason at all, right? It could be 3 a.m. You're scrolling. You're just up. You're thinking of my friend. Oh my God, how's Becca doing? Hey, Becca, I was just thinking about you. Hope you're okay. It's as simple as that. Plan the dinner. Remember the birthday. Ask about that thing they told you they were nervous about. It's the little things that matter, because Listen to this. Small investments made consistently grow deep relationships. Because like any relationship, even friendships, they're not built through grand gestures. They're built through repeated ones, consistent ones. Consistency, again, does not mean back to back to back. It just genuinely means consistently show up. So here's the entire framework one more time to be a good friend. Show up when it matters. Because if they feel like you listen and you're there and you see them for them, they'll love you. Tell the truth with love. Don't watch your friends go down a rabbit hole. If they're your friends and they matter to you, you should be able to speak up about certain things. If you're scared, that's a different conversation entirely. But if they're your friend, why would you be scared to say things? You're saying it because you love them. Just say it with love and respect. Don't be rude. Invest. You got to invest before the relationship needs saving. Because if things are going too far deep and they never hear from you forever, you guys don't do things, you don't wish them on the special days, you're going to need saving, right? Why let it get to that point? Why not do the things you can in the moment when you remember to do them in the moment, then let things go on for too long? Being a good friend was never about having good intentions. It's about consistently making someone else's life better, because you can be a good friend, but it requires intention and consistency. As always, I'm Cam. I'll see you in the next one.